What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Anime Review channel. My name is Max, and I'm joined by...
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And today we are reviewing Buddy Daddies. Yay! Where's the hype, lads? Okay.
There's so much hype.
Wow, Buddy Daddies, what's that? I hope someone can describe what the show is doing.
So, essentially, the plot of Buddy Daddies is, obviously, this is no spoilers for the initial part. Two assassins, they're assassins together, come across a small child who, I guess, is looking for their father initially. And then, yeah, it's about their hijinks, child rearing, the challenges with that, them navigating their dual life. It's very similar to something like Spy Family, which I'm sure we'll discuss at some point. Yeah, that's the overall plot summary. If you guys have anything to add.
It's animated by A.K.A Works and released in 2023. How did we feel about the show, guys?
I think it was a very solid show.
Yeah, it was rather enjoyable. I think more enjoyable than Spy Family, in my opinion.
Okay, so, overall thoughts. We all think it was decent. How do we feel about the soundtrack? We'll start with that. Let's start with like, the general vibes. And the characters specifically.
General vibes, I like it. I think the world and the story around it is pretty good. It's decent.
Yeah, I think it's got a good mix of the sort of like happy feelings, like hard bits, and then it's got a lot of emotion as well, especially later on.
Yeah,
and I think the character interplay, I think it's better at some like interplays than others. So you've obviously got the two main characters, these two dudes who are assassins. I think between them, I think they play off of each other quite well, but I think there could be a bit more depth to that. But other than that, I think the interplay between the sort of core trio is pretty good.
The episodes,
especially the world. I really like the world because of the realistic cars. I really like that they didn't just make up vehicles and use actual real vehicle models.
Truly the highlight of a good anime. It's terrible otherwise. You were saying something, Sam?
Yeah, so it's only 12 episodes long, so I feel like we only really spend time with these three characters, and they do flesh them out well. In terms of like a big supporting cast, I feel like that's one of the weaker points. But having the main cast, they're dynamic, it's fun, they're cool, they're friendly. It's nice to have them around.
They're goofy.
It's funny.
It is funny. So,
okay.
What next?
It's the soundtrack next. So how do we feel about the soundtrack, guys?
Max?
I like it's like overall nothing too special, but it fits in with every scene that it's used. Especially like piano motifs are used very well for sad or happy moments. Intro's good though, and outro's nice.
Yeah, I think overall, my opinion would be it perfectly achieves the purpose. There's nothing where I was like, oh wow, this is really amazing. It was just in the background, it was tone appropriate. It was good enough.
I mean, it wasn't distracting, but I can't say there was any points where I was like, good. So yeah. I guess I'd say it's middle of the road.
There's no real moments where the music enhances any scene way too much to the point where it's like, wow, this is the most memorable thing I've ever like seen. I feel like the story writing does that all for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only like the intro, but I did quite like the outro. Oh, that was cute.
Yeah, I did like the outro as well. I thought the visuals were cute.
Yeah, fuck soundtrack. Okay, animation. How do we feel about the animation?
PA works, so it's solid. I liked it. There was no real moments for... Fuck, I don't even think there was any moments where it's like, wow, this animation is kind of bad or choppy or lazy.
Yeah, I don't think there was any like moments of like particularly bad CG or anything like that that really took me out. I think it was good enough. Nothing outstanding, but pretty decent.
I think it's very. I feel like it's what it should be, like bare minimum.
Yeah.
That sounds patronizing, but I do mean it in a good way. Like, there's nothing awful, there's nothing terrible, and it's like mostly a good breeze. I mean, the designs are all fine. There's not really a strong style, but that's whatever. I'll say when it comes to the action scenes, I feel like a lot of them do rely on the standard movie logic of like, just don't question why all these guys are missing every shot. That got definitely a little annoying, especially early on. It got better later on, I guess. But that's fine as well because it's not really an action series. It's not what it's about.
You want to talk about the characters more?
Let's go. No, let's talk about the characters. We'll talk about how we feel about Kazuki,
the mother of the group.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
I
not
really
apply
do like him.
standard gender norms to this relationship here.
Oh, hold on. The anime feminist might disagree with me.
Kazuki is Kazuki. What? They'll disagree with me.
I presume she will disagree with you, yes. Or whoever runs that website. But he does take the motherly role. And he's also, in terms of the dynamic between the two of them, he's like the brains. I think that was fun. He's like the only one he is like the main character, really. He's driving everything, it feels that way. He's driving the plot and he's the most active involved in it out of any of the characters. But also, when it comes to the emotional level, they do kind of like his arc. I guess it's, again, more specific into the plot. His bond with the daughter in question is very important. And I think it's fleshed out well. It feels realistic. It feels like a cute relationship, so to speak, and it's wholesome. And you want to see them together, and that works well for the conclusions of the series when there's stakes involved.
He's definitely the driving force because the other one at the start is in particular kind of a man child. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't really know what he's doing. If we're honest, he's a gamer. I want that to go down on the record that this channel is anti-gamer. We don't like them.
It's true. Max, do you have anything to say about Kazuki?
Yeah, I said he's a really fun character and I like him. Probably not my favorite in the entire show. I think that goes to Ray overall simply because of how he develops through this family dynamic and towards the end, how he grows to be someone who he... Would it be weird to say who he wants to be rather than who he is at the start?
No,
that's fair.
He grows into his own person, yeah.
Yeah, Ray is he's the brawn of the team. And he's kind of he leans into that, how would you call it? That anime archetype of the quiet, cool guy, which I usually find very cringe, but I feel like he wasn't too trying to be, I don't know, trying to be too cool for it. And like we move into him being more emotional at like a relatively quick rate. And yeah, he's enjoyable. He adds to the dynamic. He has more emotional weight to him and story significance than arguably Kazuki does because of his backstory when they get into that. And I think that makes it's more, you feel more of it feels a little more like you have to earn the relationship with him and the daughter, which I think adds to the story a lot and makes progressing through it more enjoyable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it complements Kazuki. Kazuki's the sort of the anchor there that brings you in, and then you later on have Ray's relationship growing and all that.
And of course we have the daughter herself, Miri. She's just a child, but it's fun.
Yeah.
In all honesty, the first couple episodes, I thought she was super annoying.
Oh, okay.
But that later turned into, this is just how a 4-year-old will act. This is just a 4-year-old.
Might even be more tame than the average 4-year-old.
And I think that's sort of, that's the extent of her character, if we're honest. Sort of emotionally diving into how she feels is very, very surface level, really, which is not unsurprising, really.
They try to pull out how she feels about the fact that she doesn't have the most conventional family structure, but it doesn't feel like she's ever unappreciative to an annoying extent of what she has. And
seems very appreciative of what she has, actually.
Yeah, she's happy to be here.
Yeah. I feel like this is the best thing she is 4. So this is like the best case scenario for her in her own mind right now.
She is just a child. I feel like there's only like the 1 or 2 episodes where we see her like not with the 2 dads. So it kind of feels like you just view her through their lens, I guess. But that means that they care about her, and that just makes it so you end up caring about her. They don't make her too annoying. They make her full of whimsy and joy. As for the supporting cast, I said earlier, I don't think they're too interesting, and especially when it comes to the main antagonists, I guess. I find them very dull.
It's not really fully explored until like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Feels like the series wants to make you care about them a little more, and I never do. Never care about it. The closest you get is a one-off antagonist in the episode, but even that, still 20 minutes was enough time to really, really feel it. But we'll get into that later. Wait, hold on. Let's address the elephants in the room.
Spy Family and Buddy Daddies, very similar, but very different at the same time.
So I've not watched Spy Family.
I have.
Yeah, these two both have. So apparently it's dog shit.
I'm not I'm not caught up. I don't have amazing opinions of it. I guess they've mellowed out over time. I've not got some rampaging.
He's
hatred,
lying right now. This guy despises the show.
But I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not like a full hater, but it's just something. It's not something I'd want to go continue watching. I didn't find much enjoyment out of it. Yeah,
I wouldn't. To sort of piggyback off of that and to contrast it, just to speak about Buddy Daddies in particular, I think it's a lot more emotional. The emotions feel more real. The characters feel a lot more real. I feel like in Spy Family, I never really got that. I never had that emotional bond. It doesn't develop it in the same way. It's more for the comedy and the sort of action segments, which are obviously more present than Buddy Daddies. There's more action and there's consistently more sort of explicit like comedy, like gags to be gags, rather than like a funny situation. So I think it's just a lot less real. And personally, that's my personal opinion, I think it just feels a lot more like manufactured. It doesn't feel as good, as grounded.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really like the world of Spy Family. I'm not really a fan of Anya's character, I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm not saying this as if I know what happens, but I'm not a fan of their family either in that.
Yeah, I feel like the dynamics just don't feel the same. But I do, again, have to say that I'm not fully caught up and I haven't read it, so I can't. Maybe they up the development and they really do become a proper family, but it's just not comparable through what I've watched, which is the first 2 seasons.
I feel like there's a second elephant in this room. I feel like if you look at this show from the outside, your first thought is, oh, is this like Yaoi?
Ooh.
No, it is not Yaoi. And I feel like it should have been. I like watching boys kiss. It makes me happy. Okay. I think the story would have been better if they were doing it. Yeah. But I am mostly... Well, I think they do a better job of showing it as a friendship than maybe you'd expect.
Yeah, I think the way... And, I mean, I'm sure some people want to headcanon that it's the case, and that's fine. Or if you genuinely think it is, that there is romance there. I think that's fine. I just don't personally get it because I feel like a lot of the interplay, and I was sort of trying to touch on it earlier, it is between them and Miri. Them together, they obviously have like good chemistry and they work together, but it's all directed towards this family and this relationship with Miri. So I don't really even get inklings of like romance because it's not really their emotions for each other at any point, which I don't think is particularly a flaw or anything.
Yeah, I think they have a good like relationship and dynamic with each other, and they're entertaining to watch. I'd agree that it is more focused on how they both view Miri differently. I think it could be nice if we saw a little bit more of like what's their dynamic on their own, or maybe like we see more of that earlier on, because like it does make. That's getting into specific plot. I feel like it does make sense for them to not show us the two of them specifically together, but it would be nice to understand how much these guys were even friends before the child was introduced, because it's not super communicated.
Well, we can only assume that they were even before the child they were good friends, because the show does start off with Kazuki just being in Rei's house.
Yeah, but also they were like arguing about it and getting mad at each other.
And I feel like that's what makes them like really good friends. Like,
okay, I feel like we're gonna need to get into. Are we in spoiler territory now? Are we?
Yeah, let's head into specific plot points. So,
okay, so I'm not gonna hard cut. I'm gonna say in relation to that point we were just talking about. I think when later on in the story, when they give away Miri to her biological mother, I think that demonstrates how they were before. But with like obviously less anger, they don't really care for each other. I think they really were just working with each other.
I'm not sure about that. We know they were like, if we look at real life, losing a child is like a big Like that's a lot of relationships end when that happens. It's not like they didn't care about each other before, but it does show like they have a dynamic on their own when Moo's not there. But like it's never focused on these two, and I think we could have seen like what it actually was. 'Cause I don't think they would hate each other before, but
I don't think they. No, I'm not saying they hated each other. I'm
Yeah.
saying I think they were just they just had
I feel like
they were just sharing. They were-
explicitly, I feel like they did have like a friendship, a deeper, like there was something there. There was a dynamic there, and it would have significantly changed when Moo was introduced, and we just don't get to see it. Really.
I think the plot progression, if Miri wasn't introduced, is Ray would have just gone back to his dad. I don't think they would have been like really big.
Yeah,
friends
absolutely,
and-
absolutely.
Yeah, so at which point I think that would break it off. All right, do we want to pivot to going more chronological now that we're? I assume we're
Okay. Episode 1, Piece of Cake. How do we feel about the plot of this one?
Good funny start. Minus, how does a 4-year-old catch a train by themselves? Find this big building where this like, what was it? What was he the boss of? Oh shit.
I'm not sure if that's specified. I don't remember. I think he was just the boss of a company, wasn't he?
Okay, let's just say the target of the assassination.
Yeah.
And how does she track her way down to that party and then sneak in?
I thought it was funny.
It's funny, yeah, but like, it is a 4-year-old at the end of the day.
I think it was an especially good moment when he has the cake and he's just like, "Yeah, have some," and she just starts eating it. I thought
It's
that
a good
was
defining moment. But even before we get into the building stuff, we have the short scene, which is the scene of them showing what their relationship was like. I remember we had that moment with like the cat.
I was gonna talk about that. I feel like if Kazuki didn't really give too much of a shit about Rei, he wouldn't be like, okay, you can't look after a living being if you can't look after yourself. And I don't feel like he meant that from like a place of hatred or like.
Well, hang
I
on.
don't
Can
really
we not
care.
preface? I don't think they hate each other.
No, I'm not
We
saying
keep
it like
speaking
that.
as if I just said that.
Yeah,
No,
but
no.
obviously, like there's a difference in their relationship between the start and the end. It's like how big is the difference? Is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
I guess it does show it.
Also, the show is the opening shot him with like the ladies of the night at like the gambling shit. Is how it begins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like his playboy nature is like referenced a few times, but I don't think it was like this is what we need to open the show with.
I don't feel any particular way about that. I feel that's just an aspect of his character, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's just saying that he's more out there.
I think the cat plot point, we were making fun of it in the moment, but I think it works effectively. Being like, this is a guy, they don't really want to. You could argue it's a thing for Vey as well. Like he even wanted to keep the cat and take it in. You could argue that could be a significant point to him. That he is looking for something more affectionate in his life. But it is more significant for like Kazuki when it's like he takes it out, you can't take care of it, but he will like leave it with a scarf to keep it warm out there on the streets. He does care.
Which is terrible. I don't know why he did that. Surely maybe the shelters were full. I don't know.
No, listen, Japan doesn't have any shelters. But then we find out they're set on a mission to assassinate. Wait, hold on, no. The show opens on like an in medias res moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. They're on a mission while they
they were stealing
have
those
the child,
rules.
and she's in daycare.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm getting confused here. We watched this yesterday, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I do like that scene a lot. I think it works. It is like an action scene, and it's like this show's not about action as we talked about. So when you have it play itself pretty straight and serious the whole time. We start off on an action scene, and we show. I guess that is somewhat of the dynamic between the two of them and how they carry out a mission, which is something we don't see much of. It's because it's not important. So it's like a subversion and a plot twist, I guess. It's called Buddy Daddies. You know what you're getting into, but it's like a twist when the kid calls, and it shows it's just a funny point to open the show on, I guess. The show's got jokes. I also do like that immediately they like the guy they kidnap, they just shoot him and kill him.
Yeah.
That's just a thing they're cool doing. But then we progress. We go back a few months, and we see how they came into contact with this child. And it's in a mission where they have to kill her dad. Do you have feelings on that, guys?
Not really.
I think
No.
it was a good opener. I think the teasing of the action and sort of the idea of the dynamic straight away was a good idea. I think the introduction was funny with her eating the cake and then them still going ahead with the assassination and essentially botching it. But it all resolved itself because Ray is too good.
Oh yeah, this introduces that Ray is the heavyweight of the group, so to speak.
He's the actual hitman.
Kazuki puts them in a situation where they get fucked and Ray just has to fix it basically most of the time.
Nah, he's good with Kazuki's good with infiltration. He just gets sabotaged by circumstances.
We move on to... I feel like the fact that they killed the dad is like never super dwelled on, but I guess that's fine. He's probably a dickhead.
It was really touch and go. Yeah, you sort of hinted at that with the fact that he's a deadbeat.
Yeah, he does hold her up at gunpoint and threaten to shoot her at one point, right?
Oh yeah, he does do that as well.
We've all got problems. But strong opener. By the end of it, they're like, "Yep, I guess we'll take care of this kid for a little bit." Although it's not a long-term thing at that point in their minds, probably. For episode 2, we have Kiss of Death.
They're in the thick of it, learning to be proper parents, and how hard it is actually to take after a child.
This is the most annoyed they get because they've only just got the child, so they're still apathetic to her. I could see why this episode. I could see why you would maybe get annoyed by Miri a bit.
I didn't find I was annoyed at any point, but I guess that's not surprising that I guess Max would be annoyed.
Yeah, this episode this might be the most insignificant episode, to be honest. But
this is when they begin the investigation on her mom, did they not?
Yeah,
find out if she has relatives elsewhere other than the father.
But it's not like the investigation is like a...
No, that's not like
we're gonna find out next episode. Yeah, we do also have that scene where they carry out that mission. That's in this episode, right? Where they carry out the mission and then she like sneaks aboard with them. That was a fun scene.
Yeah, I think it was quite. I'm not sure why he didn't, as part of his cover, just say he was like she was the daughter or something. I'm not sure why that whole situation happened.
Yeah, a little contrived, but
yeah, the whole dynamic.
I think it's fair though when it's this early on that they don't quite know how to handle it, and they're just not.
I understand, but I'm going to interrupt you here because it's still stupid.
Okay.
He is good at infiltration, and yet in this scenario he is completely bamboozled. He could have just gone with her into the thing and just said, "Oh, this is my daughter. Can she go pee?" and then just sent her back to the truck. It would have been fine. Maybe there's more implications than I'm thinking of right now. Anyway, continue.
He's allegedly good at infiltration.
The first episode, I mean, he was in there driving the car of the guy they're kidnapping.
But yeah, the scene where they're running away at the very end, and Ray's just shooting them, Boss carrying them, and they're all shooting bullets at them, and all of them are missing. Very contrived, but
it's like Kazuki that's carrying both Ray and Ray's.
Yeah. Kazuki was carrying Ray whilst he's shooting backwards, right? Yeah.
And the gun he has is shooting straight anti-tank rounds.
Yeah,
that
was so
funny. Because it was completely absurd. Why was the barrel so large? What was he shooting them with?
Okay, episode 3, Spice of Life. Oh wait, hold on. Episode 2, there was a post-credit scene in this one where they introduced the villain. I wrote his name down here somewhere. Vio, super evil killer guy. Yeah, he's just shown off. He's like a cold tease. It's sort of thing with the villains. It's like it feels weird to build them up when it's like this is not really the point of them. Yeah. Like, this is a goofy show, but that's okay.
No, he's just sent there. He's the cleanup. He's the reliable alternative when they fail.
Also, he's brought in by the coffee shop guy, right? The coffee
Q-Taro.
Yeah. Q-Taro.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, I know.
Not to be confused with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
This guy's he's nonchalant maxing. But I think, you know what, we'll save that for a later episode. Episode 3, Spice of Life. So in this one, Kazuki does find Miri's mom, and he confronts her, and it does not go well. She's a mess, basically. She fucking sucks. I really hate the mom, but that's fine. I think you're supposed to.
100%, yeah. She's irresponsible. She doesn't care at all. She sent them off to the father, and now the father's obviously dead. She has no interest. Or at least
she was crying about her problems, like it's her fault.
Yeah.
Like it's not her fault, rather.
That was also after, so that's not at the start of the episode. The start of the episode's her going to preschool, isn't it?
Is it? I think that was happening later.
Oh, sorry, or is that no? That's in tandem with it, and then yeah, apologies.
Anyway, this episode also has a scene with. Is this the scene where it's the episode where Ray starts to open up a little more? And I think we see a snippet of his backstory where his dad was abusive. Wow.
He's a master assassin from the assassin family.
It's cute. They established that Ray never smiles. I think that's this episode. It's the first time we really look at this dynamic because before this point, he's just been quiet emo boy. He's been around, I guess. They're also, a part of this episode is them struggling to be like, how do we do work whilst also we have this child? And eventually the conclusion is we got to get a daycare.
Yeah.
Which is what goes on in episode 4, I believe.
Yep,
what will be, will be. Moo isn't listening to a daycare. A character that some of us enjoyed a lot is also introduced here. The daycare attendant lady is introduced.
Miss Anna.
Obviously the best character in this entire show, to be honest.
Yeah, she's good at her job, and she
She's good at a
wasn't
lot of things.
she wasn't judgmental. She wasn't homophobic from her viewpoint. These might be a gay couple. That's good to see.
This is like a simplistic supporting character that I think works well enough because, I mean, what more do you need from her? She just had like this running gag of like, didn't she like go sicko mode on a piano or something at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just very aggressive on the piano.
Wait, is this the episode where they like pull up to daycare in
Yes, yeah,
in, like full Louis?
Yeah. So they have the interview, and then they have that later on. And then
This is like a.
Yeah.
I do like this plot point because it's funny, but also I think it is interesting. So these guys are like, how do we make this kid feel at home? Let's just drip her the fuck out. But it just has the opposite effect. Everyone's like, well, we don't want to. This family's rich. What if they're weird? It leads to a sequence of Miri being upset, and the guys, the buddy daddies, are like, well, what do we do about? I say the buddy daddies. Kazuki is like, well, what are we gonna do about this? And he finds out it's because he was ignoring notes Anna was giving him, being like, hey, just have the kid be a little more normal, and things will be fine. And then they do, and then things are fine. It's a very simplistic story, but I think it's cute.
It's a very simple resolution. They go to the shop that all the mothers actually go to, buys a more monetarily appropriate clothing. And then
I think you could say, how do I put this?
Is this difficult to put into words, or I'm going to say something stupid?
I think this might be a little bit of a culture moment. Like, imagine someone gave it to school, some kid gave it to school, it was like, he was just wearing drip. Like, that wouldn't get bullied over here, is what I'm saying. That kid would be doing the bullying, realistically.
I think that probably would be to some degree if it's just such a stark difference. Like, you're the only one with that level of drip. They've never seen drip levels of that caliber. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's like it probably would be as aggressive. She'd probably find some friends, but it's a minor plot point overall.
At the end of this episode, Moo makes 2 friends, which I think are recurring friend characters. It's hard to tell because they never go into.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they even have names.
One kid character was enough. This is a fun episode. We're looking at it on an application right now. We can see ratings. I wouldn't have expected those episode 2 and 3 to be so low rated, but I can see why this one is why the ratings would shoot up. Because this is where it starts getting wholesome. We start getting into the actual fun slice of life shit.
Start becoming more of a family by this point.
Yeah.
Especially Kazuki, he starts to really care for her rather than just holding onto her for the time being.
I think this is the episode where it might not even be this episode, but he's watching something on TV and it's something's like, this is what mothers will do, and it's like, oh man, this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. It's just like the first time they ever acknowledge like he's just the mom of the group. It's cute.
I think that's an interesting critique of society, that the one giving the most to this child's relationship and development, we see them as the mother character, and I think that's particularly interesting.
Okay, Chief. Episode 5, Crunch Time. Movie wanders off and ends up at Kyuto's. Oh, okay, so this is when we should go into the coffee guy. So, the dads are not very good at their job, and so they they just leave Miri at the house and she wanders off. And then she wanders the city. But she ends up at... I believe this is the episode, no?
No, it's the daycare's like closed or something. So they're at home with her, and they like the daycare's closed, so they have her at home with her. But Kazuki's trying to get them work because they're broke as shit.
Yeah.
And so he goes out.
Oh yeah,
to
and then Ray
Cafe
stays.
Man,
Okay.
and then she sneaks out to follow him.
Yes.
And while she's following him, she gets distracted and lost.
And eventually she ends up at the Utero.
But not at the same time as Ray and Kazuki. We watched the show last night, guys. But yeah, this is our introduction. So we should have said they are very much trying to hide the fact that they have adopted this kid from Kyutaro. Because I guess it would be bad news bears. I don't know.
Yeah, overall, like his current position to them is that, like, obviously they're meant to be professionals, and from his perspective, they're just messing up their jobs like hideously.
Yeah, so their workflow is greatly diminished. But Kyutaro, in a move that I think is supposed to be surprising, but I don't think anyone is really surprised, is like, yeah, okay, I'll take care of this kid for you, and also, I'm not gonna tell anybody about it, I guess. But he is like disapproving of it. He didn't think it's a good idea. We also get a scene where Miri at this point is constantly like, "What are my dad's jobs? What do they do?" And he explains to her that Kazuki is a comedian and Ray is an oil baron, and that's why they're secret about their jobs. Kazuki because he's embarrassed, and Ray because I guess it's political. I don't know.
Yeah,
or it's his boy.
It's a good cover for the fact that they're rich as well.
Yes. Yeah. So what do we think about Kyutaro?
I think at this stage he's just a sense of sensibility, and he holds the same viewpoint that Kazuki had that we see earlier on with the cat. That you're in a dangerous business, you can't be bringing people in, you're only going to be putting them in danger. So he's sort of the reminder of that and disapproving, but he seems like at this stage, and also later on, that he is a good guy. He's on their side.
Yeah, he's chill. He is just there to like put the stakes there, I guess. Yeah, but I can't say it was too interesting. No. It wasn't too entertaining either. I think we're going to be a gag captain as well. I think the oil baron and the comedian thing is a funny joke. That's all he gets.
Yeah. I think it was a good episode overall, though. I enjoyed this one.
That's okay.
I really do like that he's not a prick about the situation that Kazuki and Ryo are in.
Yeah, he's just being more practical. Because realistically, this still is like hilariously irresponsible of them.
It's kind of an evil thing to do.
Like our brains are not thinking. Our brains are going now. Pull up the images.
Alright. Episode 6, Love is Blind. Okay, so in this episode, Miri gets into a fight at school, or because Kazuki has told this while picking her up. Miri claims she did not get into a fight. Kazuki does not believe her. And this causes an argument between the two. This is the first time, really, that there's ever like a conflict between them. Before, Miri is just sunshine and rainbows, especially with Kazuki, but she is angry at them. I think she says, "I hate you two," Kazuki at one point. So Kazuki and Rei go to investigate. Also, this makes Kazuki upset. If you weren't you should know that. But Kazuki and Rei, they go and follow Miri to a zoo for some reason. Well, to find out why she was getting into a fight. And they find out it was because of this annoying child, whose name I did write down. Tiger, like the Saejima. And he is... we see that he is an obnoxious child, so to speak. He gets a little violent, but maybe it's just because he needs a little help blending in, I suppose. But yeah, so Kazuki and Rei are following Miri around this episode in costumes. There is also a serial killer about in the zoo, and that's like the conflict, I guess, for the episode. But they just kill him, don't worry.
Oh, he literally pulls out a gun and points it at Miri later on in the episode. And then they attack them in outfits, and it was a bunny and a llama, wasn't it?
Yes.
I believe Kazuki was the... Sorry, it was an alpaca. Kazuki was the alpaca, and then Rei was the bunny. And they fucking snapped the gun with their bare hand. Who was it? Was it Rei? I believe it was Rei, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, it would make more sense.
Kazuki is really weak. Yeah, also, this is this episode, we get Kazuki and Rei. I'm I felt it's the only episode where they're like competing for Miri's affection, which I think was a fun gag.
Yeah, definitely. That was the. It doesn't really happen again.
It's funny that they do that. Sorry, go on.
We should also talk about how like how much of a father Kazuki's becoming, because while they're spying on Miri in the zoo, she's also getting very friendly with the boy that she was quote unquote fighting with, and he was absolutely freaking out. He was losing it over this.
Yeah.
But we should also talk about how Miri resolves her own. I don't know how they resolved their fight with that kid.
Yeah, I guess this was a good moment for Mary in retrospect, because she's pretty smart. She's pretty smart, and she resolved the issues she had with that kid by herself without significant intervention. They only needed to intervene when there was a guy that pointed a gun at Mary. he's just around.
But yeah, she ends up making amends with the boy who. Also, they didn't actually fight, so Kazuki is wrong for not trusting his daughter. That's an important point. But they resolved their differences, and it's because Miri's able to do it because she's sympathetic and caring to the other boy instead of being rude and mean like Kazuki was imagining she was. It's a realistic point for Kazuki to not exactly just trust the kid straight away, because kids do lie a lot. But I think it's a good point for him to realize maybe he can believe in her, and yeah, she is not just a kid. She is a very kind and sensible child, which is nice. Also, Miri's friends, her two friends from the other episode, show up here again. This is why I think they are technically recurring characters. They're only there to be like annoying to Miri during the zoo scene, but that's okay. But now we got episode 7. After Rain can spell. Whoa.
There was a post-credit scene where.
Was there?
Yep, where Karen, he's the. Hang on, what am I thinking of this correctly?
Karen is his sister-in-law. She shows up at Q-Taro's.
Yeah, he shows up
at
Q-Taro's. Yeah. Sorry.
What a crazy scene.
Yeah, it's nothing to it. It's just that. It's like,
imagine if you're watching this week to week, you'd be like, "Whoa, who's that?" But we watched it all last night, so it was not that crazy for us. Episode 7. After rain comes fair weather, and this is the episode where we dive fully into Kazuki's backstory. We learned that he had a wife. We've seen like flashes and minor hints in previous episodes, but we see that he had a wife who was pregnant and she died, mega died, and it was kind of his fault, like slightly.
Mega died.
She was super.
It's more of the profession he's in attracting bad company, I guess.
She got hit by a truck, and didn't the truck explode? Am I misremembering that?
Yeah, she wasn't hit by the truck. The truck just exploded. This might be the craziest thing in this show.
What, the trucks not do that?
No, just like Kazuki's backstory. I think that's.
It's the most serious thing, I feel.
It's the craziest.
The craziest. I don't know if this is the word I'd use. But yeah.
This is when he's left them as well. Like, this is.
Yeah. So this was added in the.
He leaves Ray and Miri to their own devices, and he goes out.
Yeah. He's like frustrated over something. I think he's frustrated over the fact that like he is putting the most effort into this. Ray is barely trying, and obviously, I mean, Miri's just he's the kid.
It's over food in particular.
Yeah,
because Ray's got similar tastes to this infant child, and so he just crashes out justifiably because he's putting in so much effort. Like, it's not even like a normal amount of effort. He's cooking fine dining here.
It just seems like Kazuki is like a passionate chef, which is a little fun trait, but no one appreciates it around him.
That just continues.
We see that Q-Taro, obviously, his sister-in-law, not Q-Taro's sister-in-law, Kazuki's sister-in-law from his wife, who is now dead. She came to visit Q-Taro. I guess she knows about his work, or maybe actually I didn't think about that. Maybe it was explained. But she comes in. Her name is Karen, and she's like, "Hey, did she say she's moving to a different place to do school and shit?" Is that what she said?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, but she gives this big speech to him about how you just got to move on with life. You got to find something new to do. She's heard that he's adopted a child. She thinks that's really cool. And you got to live a life that his wife would have wanted him to live. Which I think is pretty standard, but pretty cute. They say this in like a big flower field, which was a pretty visual as well, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like the sun is rising, very corny visuals, to be honest. Very on the nose, but it works, I think.
I think it was nice.
I
It
feel
was
like so far
very
this is
purple
one
flowers. Sorry.
of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you might say the visuals are corny, but I think the purple like flower field. I think it was a bit like misty. I think it was all good. I think the mistiness reflects the mistiness of his mind.
Oh, yeah.
Some GCSE English level analysis there. Yeah. No, I think this is a good episode and a good resolution. He's coming back to it and he's realizing what his contribution should be.
Yeah, they've been building to what his backstory is, like a little bit in the background this whole time, and so finally getting the reveal. And also, this differs from Ray's backstory because we'll get to that in a moment. But Ray's is more one that is important towards the stakes and the overarching plot, and it's going to be basically what the finale hinges on. Whereas Kazuki's, this doesn't really come up again explicitly, but obviously it's present like in the back of your mind the whole time that this guy was going to have a family, he was going to have it all, and then he lost it because of his irresponsibleness with his job, but also just kind of random events and things. And so now he gets his second chance, and you can see why it's so important to him. I think it works. It makes you sentimental. It makes you like Kazuki. And it makes you care for It makes you want to see him happy, yeah.
And it makes you mad that Ray is fumbling, ordering pizza. She gets ill because they go out in the rain.
Yeah, so in the background, the B plot of this episode is Ray trying to be Kazuki, just failing. He's not a great dad to Miri, but he does care just as much as well, which is important.
Yeah, I feel like this is also an important episode for him as much as it is for Kazuki. Because he's actually getting first-hand experience caring for this child solo, and he's worried sick for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
she's
definitely...
He has
got
no
the
one else to
anime
lean on.
disease, the anime cold that's notorious for being deadly.
Yeah. You get that, if you get that past the age of 20, you just die.
No, if you're in an anime and you go out in the rain, you're getting ill and you are going to be out of action, bro.
But yeah, good episode. Emotional character points. And yeah, we get basically the same for Ray in the next episode, episode 8. Wait, hold on. Did somebody want to say something else for episode 7?
No, just overall, I think it was a good episode. It's one of the best episodes, I think.
Yeah, a standout. We're moving away from the slice of life. So episode 8, Nothing Seek, Nothing Find. We get the equivalent backstory episode for Ray. So Ray leaves early in the morning. He doesn't leave mysteriously like Kazuki, or moodily, I guess. No. He does leave more mysteriously, but he's not like about...
He's going home and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kazuki understands what's going on, but he's not going to explain it to his
Well, I feel like I got the impression he knows vaguely what's going on, but even he doesn't know like super the specifics of everything. It's like...
Yeah, I don't think he understands the depth of like the emotion behind this, because this is quite like big for Ray emotionally. He's locked in at the start of the episode. He's got his fit on. He's got his hair back, and they're just like, "Oh, have a good day."
So he leaves. I believe he's driven to the building in the car. Well, I might be thinking of when he's driving away, but I think it is Vio who drives him, right? The evil guy from the post-credit scene. He's been showing up in a couple scenes as well. So this is like a significant moment of like, oh wow, he's meeting the villain.
I low-key don't remember.
Okay.
Is that
we only
what
watched it
happened?
last night, so I think so, Max.
I thought it just cut to him being there.
What, we meet Rio
I think you're thinking
when
of like
he's driving
later
him
on.
to the hit in this episode, not like when he's going towards...
No. When he's
his
going to
father.
his dad's, he isn't driven there by that. It's a cut to him being there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's out later on in the episode, yeah.
Okay, so never mind. We meet his dad, Shigeki Suwa. Yeah, I wouldn't have known that was his name about the Wikipedia, but that's fine. And we meet his dad. His dad is as much as an asshole as you'd probably expect. He's like a head of an assassin organization. He's raised Ray to be the way he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
Overall-
completely... He's dismissive of everything that isn't assassination. Ray is an assassin. He's gonna inherit the family. That's all it is to him.
Yeah. I feel like it could have been... No, you know what? I think it was like fine. It was perfect. I don't think Ray's mother or like what she is ever comes up.
No.
Yeah, this is not Hunter x Hunter.
That's sort of something I thought at this stage. I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be the sort of like trope that like, oh, he lost his wife, and now he's big moody mode, but it doesn't do that.
It doesn't even bother trying to make us sympathetic to his father until maybe like the very last moments. But I think that's fine. I don't think it needs to be anything too complicated, too complex.
No, that's not the focus of it, and it's also not particularly long. And it's not
So his dad is like, yeah, you having a family that's gay, you suck. Go kill this guy for me. He used to be your friend. He was a former member on our team, but now he's betrayed. You got to go kill him. So this is an obvious like point of like, okay, so this is what happens when someone does not want to work with the organization anymore. So that's obviously going to be in the back of our minds if Ray doesn't want to work for these very super evil people. We also do get a little bit of Ray being reflective on like, does he want to kill? Is this a thing he really wants to do with his life? But it's only a little bit, a little dabble. He gets driven to where he's got to kill this guy. The guy he's going to kill is called Satoru Kaji. At some point they say he was his former mentor and taught him how to shoot, which is very significant. But yeah, on the way there he is driven by Ryo, the very evil man that we saw in the post-credit scene before. And this is where we start getting his mindset, basically. He is an assassin down to the T, and he really likes killing people because it interests him. He notes down in a little book all the people he's killed, what their final words were. Pretty generic, I feel. I'd say he's
a vessel for progression and to be a foil to Ray.
He's what Ray's supposed to be. He is an actual emotionless, crazy guy who enjoys killing, which is what Ray thinks he might be to some extent. And arguably was a little bit at the start of the series. But we know through his bonding with Miri, that's not really true. At least not anymore.
Yeah, and the guy he's sent to kill is meant to be sort of representative of what his rebellion against his father and the organization is meant to be. But he's obviously sent to kill him.
It's like that angel and the devil on his shoulder, yeah.
Yeah. And they obviously have a back and forth.
We get a fight scene. Once again, not this show's strongest point, but that's fine. It ultimately culminates in... He doesn't kill the guy, he kills himself on accident. But it basically acts like he killed the guy. And he says his final words, which I do not remember, but is probably very important. But Ray himself doesn't. He says he didn't hear them. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like the implication is
his words were just "I'm on my way." That was.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I don't know what that could possibly mean, but that's okay.
I think overall it was a very important episode. I think it's reinforcing what Ray thinks he should be, and you've got obviously Ryo, and then you've got Kaji being the two forms of himself. Because Kaji, did you mention this earlier, or am I being silly? He lost a woman he cares for. I think that's all it was. That's why he was saying "on my way."
Oh, fair enough.
And he just calls Ray like a puppet and stuff.
I'd do the same.
And sort of in the background of all of this is Ray's birthday, isn't it? And they're doing a surprise birthday party for him.
Yeah.
And obviously,
right. I do really like this episode because of this ending here, but we haven't really got to that. I'm not really sure what to say on top of everything we've talked about, but this part I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Where they get to the birthday party.
That tension's very sad. It's like, oh, you just want them to get back to them because they're just there waiting.
Yeah.
That was particularly sad, and I think that's a good dynamic to have in an episode. You've got the progression with Ray, but also like he needs to. Obviously, there's nothing going to go wrong if he doesn't go to the party, but it's sort of the feeling like there is because him going there and rushing back is sort of his decision to live like someone like Kaji and rebel against what he's been molded to be.
Yeah, I didn't think. I was honestly like, yeah, he's gonna miss this shit, obviously. But he made it in time. Well, he didn't really make it in time.
He made
it like the middle of the night.
Yeah, Miru was fast asleep, but it was fine. There's no sadness. He was happy about it. He was content with it. I think that was a good resolution to it.
And they finally got him to smile.
Yeah.
Very wholesome ending to such an episode.
we say we preferred this or felt like the Kazuki backstory episode was better?
I think I prefer this. I feel like overall there was more tension to it, and our overall was more development because he's becoming a completely different person, whereas Kazuki's just kind of accepting that this has happened and this is how I move forward.
I think I do slightly prefer Kazuki's one, but it's still good. I'll say this is the episode where I think it becomes clear that Rei is kind of the emotional. It's hard to say the core of the series because the core is like the dynamic between the three of them. I think Rei is he is the one who is dealing with the most in terms of things he has to overcome. And going forward, this is the point where it's like, okay, this guy is the important one, I guess.
Yeah, he's the vector for showcasing a lot of development, and Kazuki's the core anchoring it, and obviously he has development as well.
A good episode.
Very good episode.
Next, we got a recap episode. We skipped it. Crazy. Next, we got episode 9. No sweet without sweat. So this is like the final slice of life episode, and I think it's a really good one to end it on. In this one, Miri is determined to win a school race. The dads are supportive. A school race doing like a, what do you call it? Like a sports day?
Like
what do they call it in Japan?
Yeah. They might have used the word field day.
A field day. She's racing. She wants to race. The dads want to help. They're being supportive. Shenanigans ensue.
Shenanigans are from the start of the episode. They obviously say that this is coming up. There's a bit with Kyutaro as well. I'm not sure. I don't remember what they discussed. I think Miri might ask whether he wants to come maybe, but I don't think they do that.
And Kyutaro says no because he's boring.
But after that, and after obviously the intro or whatever, Rei's scouting out in full night gear with night vision goggles, setting up claymores and landmines and barbed wire. And he just comes back and Kazuki's like, what were you doing? So Rei's still a weirdo. Yeah,
and he did that to set up a spot for them to watch the field race, I guess, in a good position.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, Kazuki's he's making lunch, something benign and normal.
They're also training to try and help her win the race and make her better at racing, I guess.
Yeah.
You would assume that these trained assassins would do a better job at teaching someone how to, at the very least, do a 100-meter sprint better. But they do not. She does lose the race, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, she trips and falls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rei,
and that destroys him, yeah.
Yeah, Rei blames himself because he was actively cheering for it when it happened, and it is implied that him cheering surprised Miri, and that's what caused her to trip over.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I feel like that was quite unfortunate.
Yeah, pretty upsetting moment.
After she was all motivated, she did the entrance sort of speech, which I thought was a cute moment.
Rei wants to kill himself, but Miri's like, no. I don't care. I'm just having fun. And yeah, I feel like it just highlights the dynamic of this relationship. These two guys are going to try their best. They might not do it all the time, but they're fortunate enough to have a kid who is very positive and very upbeat about pretty much everything.
I want to say a very important part of the episode. They had a tug of war where you have the kids and the teachers. Some dude lost to Miss Anna. He got annihilated. I'm not sure what he's doing. He just looked like a very normal background character, but Miss Anna creamed him.
I genuinely don't even remember that. There's a couple good gags in this. There's a lot of good gags in this episode in particular. But I remember there was some stuff about them all. All the parents are super gossipy about each other, and so they're just all confused by who exactly are this Rei and Kazuki guy. I feel like that's always fun. But yeah, this is the last moment of peace, I feel, for the episode. And this episode concludes as well in an ominous sense, where the two of them are walking, and Miri did not win many awards. I think she won one thing or something, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
it
was the family card.
They won the daughter daddy race thing, I guess. Did they win that?
Yeah, no, because
Watch
it was
it
the
as that.
sacrifice segment, and then they had to pull out a card, and you had to find something, and she pulled out a
Yeah.
card saying family, so she just
Oh,
got
yeah.
to win that.
That was a really good
thought-
scene. I like that.
And
Yeah.
after that, they do like a photo, and I think the photo is pretty important before we talk about the rest of the tension in it, because they're kind of reluctant, because obviously, I mean, it's dangerous to take a photo showing two assassins with this girl. But they do it anyway, because I don't know, maybe asked. How can they resist?
Yeah, beautiful moment.
And the
But yes,
very end, there is a
As they're
post-credit.
walking home, before that, as they're walking home, they say, I think Vey apologizes for distracting Miri during the race, and she says, "Don't worry, I'm gonna win next year." And then Vey has like a little reflective moment, like, "Yeah, next year, that would be nice." And then they all walk off into the sunset. Very ominous, but cute, very cute.
And then the post credit is Kyutaro and Ryo Ogino, isn't it? Something like that. The bad guy. And I think he just says Kyutaro, like, don't forget we got a job here or something. And then I think that's all it is. And he's looking at the pictures of them, obviously taken by someone else.
Scary. What a crazy time. Max, what do you think of this episode?
I really liked it. I really like how they were both. Well, Kazuki obviously was supportive throughout the whole way, and then as soon as Ray builds up the confidence to support his child, she trips and loses the race, and how he's all gloomy after that. But at that point where she pulls out that family card, it's like that's all gone. He sees more hope in it. More hope in this
Very
Mm-hmm.
family.
positive episode. But there's only 2 more episodes after this, and it's going to take
3 more episodes after
3
this.
more episodes after this, and it's going to take a turn.
We watched it last night. So episode 10, Lost at Sea. Okay, so Miri's mom comes back and she's like, "I'm gonna die of cancer. Give me back my daughter." And the guys are like, "Okay."
That's a very brief summary. She's very sorry, and she's very clearly quite reformed. She doesn't have the same attitude she had before at all.
So this is a point. I don't think this was very super greatly executed. It feels like they had the idea of what they wanted to do, and then they just kind of go to it. So she's just super nice now because she's got cancer, I guess. It's just like, sure, okay, whatever, fine, I'll accept that. First of all, they never once addressed the fact of like, well, if you're gonna die of cancer soon, didn't she say like she's only got a year left or something? They never addressed the fact that like, where is she? What's gonna happen to Miri after she dies? But but whatever. Also, it's still like irresponsible, I feel, to leave her with this woman who was very abusive last they checked, and it's only been like a couple months.
Whoa. She was neglectful. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is, and this is sort of the tension of the episode, is they have no authority. They have no, like, they are cooked if they do anything but agree with her because she's her mother. They have no legal presence. They've effectively kidnapped this child.
She does also blackmail him at one point. It's like, I know you're hitman. I will call the police. It feels like we've got to move the plot in this direction because that's the way we've got to go moment. But whatever. That's fine, I guess.
Obviously, the whole episode, I was sort of kind of thinking.
She's very hateable, and I think you are supposed to start to be sympathetic to her at this point, though.
Yeah.
Which I think they do fail at.
I would disagree. I saw her as to some degree reasonable. I think she made a legitimate transformation. I didn't doubt it.
If
I
these
hate
two had
her.
just taken her aside, killed her, and buried her, and then never thought about it again, I wouldn't have felt bad at all. But that's okay.
Okay, well...
Also, I think
very strongly.
a significant point about this is it does kind of feel like Miri wants to be with the mother. And to like,
She wants
it's
to be
it's obvious to us that it's like, oh, she's just excited to see her mom again. But like, it's portrayed well where you can see why Kazuki and Vei could maybe see this and feel like, oh, she just wants to be with the mom. And they get insecure about it. And like, I guess we really never were like her real parents. Which, once again, we know isn't true, and obviously isn't the conclusion of the
I
show.
don't think they're thinking that. I think they're just...
I feel like they're
looking at
100% thinking
the
that.
fact that they have no authority. I don't think they at all think Miri didn't like them. I think
There's
they
so
just
many
thought-
shots of Kazuki specific. Well, no, hold on. Obviously, they know she liked them.
Yeah,
But like, there's so many shots where it's like
you were saying
Kazuki's like
that's not what you were just saying. Okay,
he's
that's
melancholic about it, and I think it's clear. Like they feel like doesn't he explicitly say we aren't Miri's real parents at the end of the day? This is the right thing to do. were being selfish to keep her. He says something along those lines, doesn't he?
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying on that. I'm disagreeing with you saying that they think Miri just wants to be with her mom. That's what you said. I disagree with that.
No,
I don't
no.
think they
I
think it.
think
they know
that's
she wants to be with them all, and that's what you
Yeah.
want as the audience. That's what I felt. I was like, can we please get to some kind of resolution where
I didn't feel that at
somebody
all.
works something out?
I feel like it was like really clearly.
just don't care,
It was like explicitly communicated. Like Kazuki is insecure about, maybe less with Rei, but it's like Kazuki definitely feels like Miri wants to be with him, because there's like that shot at the start of the opening when she first shows up at the school, and she runs right past Kazuki and Rei and straight to the mom, and she didn't even like acknowledge them. I mean that was meant to be a point, but
Maybe it's an insecurity, but not. I don't think that's the thought process in this. I think they're thinking that they can't keep her, and that's what they were also thinking.
Max, what do you think?
I feel like I agree more with Sam, minus the part of having no sympathy towards the mother. I feel like I also do remember them thinking that, like, yeah, we're not her real parents. Of course, she'd choose
Yeah,
her
we're
like mother.
miscommunicating here. I can't lie. I agree that, but I don't think they're seriously thinking that Miri just wants to be with her. I don't think that's a serious thought in their head. I think maybe emotionally they feel some kind of like, oh, we're not her real parents, but I don't think they're thinking that Miri has the view that they're not. You know?
Nah, 1,000,000%.
Okay, well we'll agree to disagree. Anyway, I don't know what they were thinking at this point. Is she just gonna go to like some care home or something after her mom dies? I don't know. That wasn't the focus.
It's just crazy that they don't even address it. Like, you'd think there'd be like one line where they'd be like, "Oh yeah, well," or she'd have like some lines like, "Yeah, I'll leave it with my grandparents" or something. I don't know, or with her grandparents, particularly. But after that, we get. Oh no, sorry, we're not done with this episode. The like back half and the core and I guess the real emotional part of the episode is when they have to have one last date. I guess is that what you'd call it? Like a thing with the
family day out.
Yeah, family day out, and you'd have it. And they go out and I don't even remember them going to like an ice cream shop. But I swear it's a very much. Oh no, they have like.
Go to like a big play area.
Yeah.
Families and stuff.
They go to a lot of places. They have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do a lot of shopping as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is what, but they see a. This is another point where it's like they're growing insecurities. They're like in an ice cream restaurant, and they see like the other families with their mothers, and they're like, oh no, we can't replicate this. Yeah. Which is like a sad point, but I mean, we see by the end of the episode, by the end of the series, that maybe that wasn't necessarily true. But the conclusion to this outing is them going into a Ferris wheel at night, and they're in a Ferris wheel. It's the three of them, they're together, they're all happy, they're having the time of their life, and obviously it's a lot more bittersweet and melancholic for Kazuki and Rei and us, the audience, because we know this is the end for them. Well, we as the audience know this is not the end. There are 2 episodes left, but they don't know that. Yeah, it's a very cute scene. I guess that's the final slice of life, I guess, really moment. But it's a lot more. It's not quite the same. You know, it's more. There's more finale to it. It's like are they really gonna pull this back? Are they gonna get this girl back? Probably not. But yeah, it concludes with them handing the daughter off to the mother, saying it's just gonna be a sleepover. I guess. I guess they're like, yeah, she can figure out the rest.
I think it was quite an emotional scene.
Yeah, it's a sad scene.
They definitely weren't addressing it. I think this whole time I was thinking, like, what the hell is like in the story? What is the long term of this child? Like, is she just gonna end up in a care home? Is she gonna ever find this out? Is she gonna find out that her dad was killed by them?
Yeah, that was irksome, but it didn't. I bet you're drawn into the scene a lot. It's very emotional. So Miri goes off, and we get episode. Anything else? Anything else we want to say on episode 10?
I think we've covered.
Nice. Episode 11. Everyone will be hypocrites. So this episode. So this is what we were talking about at the start, I guess, more so early on. Or I think, yeah, we mentioned like Miri's gone now. It's just Kazuki and Rei. And the relationship just falls apart, really. They barely talk to each other. Everything's got like grey lighting now. They're all super upset. And, well, they're not even super upset. They're just kind of quiet. There's nothing to say to each other.
It's just Jova.
And then Rei just randomly is like, yeah, I think I'm going to go back to my dad. And Kazuki's like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. They're like, there's no point in us being together anymore.
The magic is lost.
Obviously, Kazuki also wants to downsize as well, so you're leaving there's the sense that they're leaving this environment, they're fully splitting, no one's staying there.
I think they do leave the apartment permanently this episode.
Yeah.
But Ray goes back. Well, hold on. We see snippets of the mother with Miri.
Yeah.
It's just like
she makes a hamburger and she puts more effort than usual because obviously this is sort of a plot piece. Was the hamburger that's just from a shop is just packaged and microwaved by her mother, but she loves it. And obviously her mum makes it, probably not to Kazuki's Master Chef level, but she gives it to her, and it's sort of, I don't know, I guess it shows how she's progressed at least, and how she thinks she needs to, which I think was, it's just building off of it.
We get like the only point where the mom's like melancholic, or like maybe like starts to think, oh, these guys were taking care of my daughter, maybe that would have had an effect. Because Miri's like, where are they? And she's like, my bad. But Ray goes home. And at this point, Ray's dad is like, listen, I really don't like the fact that you've done this. I think it's really stupid. That is why I'm going to kill Miri, Kazuki, and I guess the mom. It's just like, oh.
Loose ends, yeah. And obviously, Miri is also going to have the sort of Christmas, what would the word be?
Shit. The Christmas thing. Okay, this was introduced last episode. This was important. There's going to be like a Christmas...
Yeah. She sings a bit for it, though, for her mom.
A Christmas, like, party festival thing at the school where she sings Silent Night.
Yeah.
And she wants all three of her parents to be there. So the mom herself and Kazuki and Rei. So it's a big emotional point, and that's like one of the reasons why it's like, oh no, they're giving the kid away, and it's obviously like they're never going to see her again, so they can't be there for her in that moment. Which obviously super important to her. This comes up again in this episode. Probably. Yeah, so Rei and Kazuki. It's except at this point, they're basically like, yeah, we're not going to see each other again. But obviously Rei's like, I'm not going to let these guys die. I still love them and stuff. Obviously Ryo is the one sent to kill them. Does Kyutaro... No, Kyutaro doesn't. Rei calls Kazuki.
Yeah, Rei panic calls Kazuki and is like, yo, get to them now.
Yeah. And Kazuki is like, okay. He doesn't even question it. He instantly moves, which I think is nice. He runs to their house and he tries to help. Unfortunately, he sucks at fighting. So, in the process of their little scuffle, Miri's
mom's already shot. Ogino gets her through the door. Well, as soon as he opens the door, Kazuki isn't there yet.
Oh damn, Kazuki's slow as fuck as well. I didn't know he's just weak.
Yeah, he just doesn't get there in time.
Anyway, Kazuki tries to fight Ryo, fails. He gets help from Kyutaro, who pretends to call a fake police siren, in order to make Ryo flee the scene. Ryo doesn't kill Kazuki here. It's a very plot. Like, we can't do it. He's like, I'm gonna kill the daughter first, and then I'm gonna kill you. It's kind of just a thing. It's whatever. It's corny. Ryo's not a good antagonist. They have like a little bit of a back and forth. I don't remember what they say. I don't think it was too interesting. But Ryo flees the scene, and Kazuki has one last word with Miri's mom. And she's like, please take care of my daughter and tell her I'm sorry. And Kazuki's like, okay. And then they take Miri to a safe house. Rei also shows up at this point. And they go, Rei, Kazuki, and Miri, and Kyutaro. Kyutaro's got a bunch of safe houses because he obviously does very dangerous business. And at this point, they'll have to...
They have to stay in a safe house. They're going to get hunted down by the...
Rei and Kazuki have to sit down and talk about, like, hey, what are we going to do about this? And they're like, we could try running away, but we'd spend the rest of our lives running. Let's just kill these guys, I guess. And then, but the more important one is, okay, what are we gonna do about Miri? And they're like, I guess we're gonna raise her. We're gonna pee the buddy daddies. And they're like, yeah, you know what? That seems nice. There's also a talk here about change, and do you think you can change? The conclusion is yes, they do believe they can change. But I think it's a nice sentimental point about, in particular, it's for Rei, because he has killed a lot of more people by his own hands, and he's not had a normal life, it seems. So it's more of he doesn't have trust in himself to be a normal parent and a good parent to Miri the way he is. And this is like the climax to a lot of the arc that's built. Well, this isn't the climax, but it's a turning point in the arc of him finally accepting a family is something he wants. This was something important to him, and he does think he can do it. I mean, it's very, very sentimental. And Kazuki supports him like the good boy wife he is.
Good buddy daddy he is.
Yeah.
I also want to say there's one scene before Kyutaro does the fake police siren, where there's a music change supporting it, and Kazuki's like, "Oh, now's the time, Ray." And Ryo looks away, and Kazuki grabs the gun, but he still fumbles. That's like he just fails. That moment genuinely like fooled me.
It is fun. I do make fun of him that he's like weak, but I think it is good for the two of them that he's like a pathetic bitch because it makes Ray's power more important.
Yeah, they're an excellent team. They're hand in hand to be a good team. He's the intel, and then you've got the muscle.
He's also he's a bit tricky, Kazuki.
Just like parents. One thing I also do like about this episode is how a cafe man just comes around and is just clutch for this family. It's like, as before, it's like, you guys shouldn't really be doing this. This is fucking brain dead. And then he helps them out like this. I guess. Yeah, it does. One of the most dangerous people in this story is how I interpreted it. Like, this guy is just the killer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It seems, like Kitaro. It does seem like he does care about these guys and the kid, ultimately, by the end of it. Even though he hadn't spent much time with them. Yeah, he's like a fine guy, I guess.
Yeah,
he's the uncle daddy. Oh no, he's the buddy 100%. Uncle.
Yeah, the buddy uncle, 100%.
Would have liked if they leaned into the dynamic a little more, but whatever. Everything else on this episode? It ends very triumphantly. On the final note, is like, hey, yeah, we are going to do this. We are going to be the buddy daddies.
We're going to buddy assassinate the dad. I think that's one thing that's interesting as well, and this is just an overall thing. This whole, like, conflict with the organization is never really resolved, because, like, is the dad just the sum of the organization? I didn't understand that part.
I feel like he was like the head, no?
Yeah, I interpreted him to be as the main leader of this.
That's kind of what.
Yeah, they say at one point, like,
Kazuki,
they say that Ray will be the heir to the organization. That's like a point in the background.
I thought so. I just didn't make sure it wasn't being stupid.
Yeah, we don't really go into details about it, but it's not important. So, our final episode 12, Daughter Daddies. Miri is living with Kazuki and Rei at this point. They haven't told him that her mom is dead yet, which you may think which you will probably think this is going to come up eventually. It doesn't, which I thought was surprising. But I guess they didn't want to make the ending any sad. They wanted it to be a happy ending. So Miri's going to sing at a Christmas party. She wants Kazuki and Rei to be there. That was her wish to Santa. That was a point set up earlier, so she's like, "Oh, you're gonna make a wish to Santa." The wish is that she wants Kazuki and Rei to see her singing at Christmas. So Kazuki and Rei are like, "Yeah, we'll be there." They drop her off at the daycare, and then like, "Okay, now we need to go kill and destroy the entire organization." And so they go and do that, and they're successful, relatively successful. I've said this a million times. This is not an action series, and so ending off on an action set piece does feel a little. But at least I feel like we get the best fight here, probably, with Ryo fighting. Actually, no. I feel like the best. If I had to pick the best fight scene, I'd probably say the Ryo and Kazuki one, the episode before. Even though it's barely a fight scene, but he's just getting dominated.
Yeah.
But we get a bit of a rematch here, with Ryo and fighting. Well, no, yeah, we got Ryo fighting Rei. He's fighting Rei first, and then he's fighting Kazuki first, and then Rei comes in, right?
Yeah, Rei helps out at the end. So
we get a Ryo Kazuki rematch, whilst Rei is fighting just a bunch of nameless grunts in the back.
Because he's getting to his father.
Yeah. The Kazuki does show up halfway through the fight, and they team up. The Buddy Daddies assemble, and they're able to kill Ryo, with Kazuki landing a final strike, stabbing him in the back. A nice and petty way to do it. And there is like a shot at the end where like he's trying to
word book.
Yeah. He's like trying to open the book as well, but then he dies first. Does the book get burnt, or does it like get covered in blood or something?
It gets burnt because they set fire to the room. There was like
yeah. They burned the room. That was it.
And they burn it.
I thought that was nice. There was like, this really weird thing that was personal to him that he was doing this whole time because he thought it was important. They just destroy it carelessly because they don't care. He's a loser
as well.
Yeah, was it? Oh, okay.
Was it gifted to Rei by Kazuki?
I have no recollection of what you're talking about.
No, sorry. Rei gives it to Kazuki in the previous episode at the end as a parting gift, and it's a bit of a bit because Kazuki's like, "Wow, thanks for the gift."
Okay.
And they used that lighter to set fire to I think it was like a kitchen sort of room.
Yeah.
So we got a fight scene. I think the fight scene where they fight Ryo and when they fight him, I was like, okay. I like that they teamed up. It felt like dirty, like they were doing underhanded shit as well.
Yeah, and he fell on the knife at the end. Like, he fell back onto it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a proper, like, stab or anything.
And it's fitting. These guys there shouldn't be any respect for them, these people. So, yeah. There's, it would have been stupid if it was like, oh, we gotta kill them in an honorable way. And I don't think these characters would, and they didn't. I like that. Then we get a scene with Vei and his dad, and this is the climax of Vei's arc, of him just openly saying, "You suck, I don't want to do this, kill yourself." And then Vei's dad shoots him in like the shoulder.
No, doesn't he shoot his own arm?
Vei shoots his dad in the shoulder, and then no, what? Yes. Okay, someone else explain it.
Yeah, he shoots his dad in the shoulder.
And then he shoots himself in the shoulder.
And he shoots himself in the arm.
He doesn't get shot by his dad.
Yeah.
It's just to disable him. Like, I'm not your tool now. I'm not your prodigy. Look, I've got a fucked arm. Although I'm not sure about how long lasting that is, but it's for the point of the scene.
Vei does say, Vei chooses not to kill his dad, which I think is a bit of a surprising point, because they've really given no reason for him to like his dad at this point. But he's like, I'm not going to kill you. And he walks off, and his dad is like, he says some threatening stuff like, I'll stop you, but Vei clearly doesn't believe it, because he's comfortable just leaving. And this is like the only point where we get like maybe a little bit of like humanization for him, because he doesn't shoot his son in the back, and he very clearly is upset by the fact that he abandons him, which does suggest maybe he wanted some level of a human relationship there. I thought he wanted more of a father-son bond that he didn't get, which is sad, I guess. It's not really explored, but it's there.
If only he had his own buddy. Maybe he could have been a
If
dad.
only he was gay too.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he leaves Vei alone, and I mean, yeah, we could assume that was just the end of it. There's a scene in the Vei flashback episode where Miri goes, if he's Vei Daddy's daddy, does that not make him my grandfather? I think that's an interesting idea, and it shows maybe...
It shows that your dad's dad is your granddad.
Okay, fuck you. I mean, I think what I was reaching for was like, interesting, like, what does... I don't know where I'm going with this. Fuck you.
Miri doesn't know. She's obviously like, oh, well,
yeah,
if it's my dad's dad, is it my granddad? And that's like an important relationship, because obviously there's no biological link there. There's not even... There's a biological link between Rei and him, but there's not the emotional link. So is he really my granddad? Just like when Rei earlier on in the series was questioning... Well, no, he was like forced to not call his dad, to call him boss. So I guess that's sort of the link through to it. Like, is he really my granddad?
Yeah, it is like, was there a world where Rei's dad would have been willing to take care of Miri when the daycare was closed and the two had jobs? Who knows? Probably not. But it is unfortunate. He was willing to kill this child as well. I guess it's worth knowing. But that's whatever. We can move on. I think Miri probably would forgive him. She was too innocent. But anyway, okay. So Kazuki and Rei pull up to the preschool just in time. Well, a little late actually, because Miri had already begun singing. But they walk in, and like, wow. And she finishes her song, super happy. And she walks up and is like, I got my wish from Santa. And that's like, yeah, that's a great kid. Very wholesome.
Thank God she didn't wish for like Legos or something.
And then we flash forward like 10 or so years. They're living in a tropical place now. We don't know if it's Okinawa. We assume that.
Hawaii.
It's Hawaii, did I say that?
I'm pretty sure.
They own a little restaurant now. Miri's an older student. And yeah, they're just living life. They're just being happy with it. We also see a little photo of
Actually,
her.
I'm lying about Hawaii. Sorry, my bad.
Are you fucking serious right now?
I should have made that clear. I remember. I'm realizing now that it's not clear that I was joking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was probably Okinawa.
Yeah, they're happy. That's all that matters. Also, Kazuki's got a goatee. I think it looks terrible, but that's okay.
I like it. I think it's quirky enough to be good. Also, in the start of the time skip scene, she does like say goodbye, mom, to like the photo as she's like going out.
Yeah, so someone told her at some point, maybe. We don't see it on screen though. It would have been too sad.
She doesn't hate her parents, I guess, which is nice, but I guess we don't get that development on screen. Yeah.
I feel like she should be like, wow, how do we have so much leftover money for your oil power jobs? But whatever. We don't see anything from this timeline really. It's just relaxed. It's just a cute moment to show that they all lived happily ever after. I think that's nice.
Kazuki's still a player.
Oh yeah. You mean Kazuki is a player again? This hasn't come up in so long.
Yeah, I know there's a cute segment
show
at
up
the
at
end with pictures. Oh yeah, sorry.
The super shoot showed up in his flashback episode, but that was it.
Yeah, but it overall ends in like a really cute picture montage of older pictures and then key moments, and then obviously when she's at different stages of school or whatever. I thought that was a really cute segment.
Overall, nice wrap up.
Yeah, I think it was a good wrap up. I think overall the show didn't overstay. It wasn't projecting to be some long thing. And this is the end. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I would have taken like 5 more episodes, but they weren't necessary, I guess.
Yeah. I think if they were to do that in terms of keeping like this sort of scale, I think they could have maybe done the resolution with her finding out. Maybe the reason they didn't do that is because it is longer, so then you'd have like 2 time skips or something. I'm not sure. I don't know when's best to tell your child your mother was horrifically murdered by some psycho.
Okay, so show's done. Okay, so we've wrapped up every episode. Let's go. What was our favorite episodes?
Really like Kazuki's backstory episode and also Sports Day. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Final episode, I guess you could fit in there simply because it has a nice conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's disapproving.
Well, I know it was kind of just a big fight scene, but yeah, obviously the parts that stick out are like very emotional. But I feel like a lot of it was just kind of fodder. I'd say, yeah, I'd agree. Both of the backstory episodes are obviously a lot.
Yeah,
and then the Sports Day one is probably my favorite. Just the slice of life episodes.
Yeah, I think out of slice of life episodes, I'd agree that was my favorite.
I do like the initial one as well when they first entered the daycare. I feel like that was also a really fun one. Josh, give me your favorite episodes.
I would agree. I'd say the backstory ones. I think the conclusion of the last episode was very nice, and then I think I'd agree that's probably at least my favorite. The slice of life. Yeah, that's it basically.
Fair enough. Oh, well, I think we all enjoyed the story. Like, I really just feel like the biggest issue is that it's just not mind blowing. Really, it's very.
Yeah,
it was like
I think some refinement would be
within its mold, and it doesn't feel too. It didn't feel like it has. It doesn't feel like it's going to say something crazy. That doesn't mean you got something bad. Sometimes you want to watch something that's a little more standard, and it's done well. It's done refined.
Yeah, I think obviously the overall improvements you could do, like if it had like slightly better animation or better, what would the term be? If the fighting was better, it was more like
choreography.
Yeah, if it was choreographed better, I think that would be a big improvement. I feel like if you had like a whole set of improvements like that, it could like bump it up a notch. But I think overall, for like how long it is, it's nice and contained. There's only just bits here and there, like the resolution of like these horrible things that have happened to her, and stuff like that could be expanded on, and that's like an actual deficiency.
Yeah, conclusion could be extended. Side characters could have a little more going on. That's really it. I think the main core of what it's trying to do, it sets out to do it, and it achieves it. You're not gonna get your cock blown by this shit. You know what I mean? You have a neutral time. You gotta
I say it's a positive time.
Yeah, a good time. You're gonna enjoy the romp. So, should we give it a score rating? We think we're ready for that?
I am, yes.
All right, everybody. I mean, we all know what we're gonna say, but everybody on 3, 2, 1, 7.
Yeah.
It is the perfect. No, this is the most 7 out of 10 show I think I've ever watched. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Very good very good at achieving what it wants to be, but it's not going to blow your socks off or anything. What would we recommend to someone who's watched the show and enjoyed it? Sorry.
So if you're into like adult romance, adult slice of life, just find anything in that genre. For example, Love is Hard for an Otaku. But that's more romancy than this. This is more.
This is no romance.
This is like just.
It's like
for a child.
Adult slice of life.
Yeah.
Maid Wars was saying. It's animated by PA Works as well.
Yeah, that's
PA
right.
Works do a
And we
lot of
really,
stuff,
really like
though.
that show.
Yeah, but that is a good
The
show.
Maid Works
You
is
should
really
just
good,
watch
yeah.
it.
It's a similar vibe as well, of like a 12 episode, get in, get out, some slice of life, overarching storyline. It's kind of
Some
like Doctor
comedy.
Who.
It's pretty decent
Sorry.
emotions. Oh, I'd recommend Doctor Who, specifically classic Doctor Who.
So we're saying, buddy daddies, don't watch Spy Family. Don't get tricked. It's dog shit. So I've heard.
Watch it if you want. Watch it if you want.
These guys,
it's
just to be
very
clear,
similar
they're
in some
playing down
ways,
their
but
takes
it's
right now. When they say it to me, they're like, "This is dog shit," and we
I'm
hate
playing.
it.
I'm playing up my takes. I don't like it. I feel like it feels really manufactured.
I heard Josh
emotionally
verbatim
connected.
say, "If you like this show, you should be hung, drawn, and executed. Hung, drawn, and quartered." We'd also like to recommend Chainsaw Man Veze movie. And if you want to know what to think about that, well, have I got the video for
He
you?
wants to know what to think. Is that how we're advertising it?
If
guys,
you want to have
if
the
you-
correct opinion.
Yeah, that about wraps it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments. Next up,
Tatsuki Fujimoto 1726.
That's it.
Make sure to leave in the part where you survey you do a very basic outro.
Huh?